Do you believe that women should be drafted for the military? We're specifically talking about U.S. here now. Michael Snyder reports, are you ready for your daughters to go to war? Democrats in Congress want to make it mandatory for young women to register with the Selective Service System when they turn 18, just like young men do. Of course, if a major war erupts and our politicians reinstitute the military draft, the draftees would come from those that have registered with the Selective Service System. So if the Democrats get their way, we will be just one step away from young American women being forced to go to war. But proponents of such a move argue that we need to do something because military recruitment has fallen to depressingly low levels. And they insist that there are many jobs that women could do anyway, and they could do away from the front line just during a major war. So what do you think? Do you believe that a woman should be drafted for the military? A major battle over this is happening on Capitol Hill right now. Democrats in the Senate have already added language to the annual defense spending bill that would require women to register for the draft. Senate Democrats have added language to the annual defense authorization bill to require women to register for the draft, prompting a backlash from Republicans and social conservatives and complicating the chances of moving the bill on the Senate floor before Election Day. Conservatives led by Senator Roger Wicker, of Republican from Mississippi, are certain to attempt to remove the provision requiring women to register for the draft, which could present a tough vote for Senators Jon Tester, Democrat, Montana, and Jackie Rosen, Democrat, Nevada, and other Democrats in tight re-election races. Needless to say, a lot of social conservatives in Congress are speaking out very strongly against this. One of them is Senator Josh Hawley, Republican from Montana, called the provision requiring women to sign up for the draft insane. He accused the Biden administration of trying to implement a woke agenda at the Pentagon. He said there should not be women in the draft. They should not be forced to serve if they don't want to, he said on Fox News. He criticized Democrats for wanting to experiment with the military, saying normal people are like, leave your daughters alone. I think that Hawley makes an excellent point, but why should our sons be forced to serve in our woke military if they don't want to do so? Why should anyone be forced to serve in our woke military if they don't want to do so? When I was growing up, I was proud to be the son of an officer in the U.S. Navy, but today I would not recommend military service to anyone because our military has become a woke nightmare. In 2001, Pete Hegseth eagerly joined the U.S. Army, and he ended up fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, but now he's considered to be an unwelcome extremist by a military he once served. Pete Hegseth joined the Army in 2001 to combat extremism. He fought in the Iraq and Afghanistan wars and was awarded 2 Bronze Stars. But as the Fox and Friends Weekend co-host writes in his new book, The War on Warriors Behind the Betrayal of the Men and Women Who Keep Us Free, June 4th, Broadside Books, he's now considered an unwelcome extremist by the military he once served. In the name of diversity and social justice, the woke elites currently running our armed forces have lowered standards and alienated the brave young patriots who once ably protected America and its allies. They believe power is bad, merit is unfair, ideology is more important than industriousness, white people are yesterday and it's safer, and it's better than risk-taking, he writes. However, our enemies still understand that a soldier needs to be powerful, skilled, and courageous. I'm totally against forcing anyone to join the military against their will. If people want to serve, let them serve. But if people don't want to serve, leave them alone. But of course, Democrats are big on forcing people to do stuff. Senator Jack Reed sees absolutely nothing wrong with forcing women to serve in the military, and if a major war erupts, he believes that we would need all able-bodied citizens 18 years old and above, he says. But Senate Armed Services Committee Chair Jack Reed, Democrat, Rhode Island, defended the proposed policy change, arguing that women can hold many warfighting positions without serving as frontline infantry troops. He said women are doing a remarkable job in our forces today, and if we are in a situation requiring a draft, I think we would need all able-bodied citizens 18 and above. And he added, if we go to a draft, that means we're in a serious, serious situation. So what happens if there is a big war and most of our young people try to avoid a military draft? Well, will they start grabbing young people off the streets like they're doing in Ukraine? You may have noticed that our politicians aren't exactly speaking out against that practice. We live at a time when war is in the air, and leaders all over the globe have come down with a real bad case of war fever. The war in Ukraine is rapidly approaching a point of no return, and the situation in the Middle East could soon spiral completely out of control. The White House has been warning against escalation towards an all-out Israel-Hezbollah war, as the daily exchanges of drones barrages has ramped up for 2 weeks. However, on Thursdays, Biden's special envoy of the region's Amos Hochstein signaled that to the Lebanese government that if diplomacy fails, the U.S. is ready to stand behind Israel in a new anti-Hezbollah offensive. The blunt warning was delivered as Hochstein is meeting with officials on both sides of the border, and as Israel's top generals have lately approved war plans for an offensive into southern Lebanon. He was previously in Israel at the start of this week and now is in Beirut. World War II resulted in approximately 75 million deaths. How many deaths will World War III cause? We're living in extremely dangerous times, and I'm entirely convinced that global war is going to be one of the major themes of the next couple of years. This is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. This is by Michael Snyder. About the author, Michael Snyder's extremely controversial new book entitled Chaos is available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 7 other books that are available on Amazon, including End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophets and the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News, and he always freely and happily allows others to republish those articles on their own websites. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.